Sportsman here with Carl the Cobra Froch, and we've just had the Haye Bellew weigh-in. How do you think they looked on the scales, Carl?
David Haye looked very good, as he always does. Aesthetically, he's a masterpiece of a sculptured physical specimen. Tony Bellew actually looked okay. He was lighter than what he usually is, lighter than what he was when they met the first time. So Bellew, you know, he's not naturally athletic looking. He doesn't get ripped to the bone, but he looked well. And yeah, I think we're in for a good one.
Carl, you've been involved in these big events before. What runs through a fighter's head 24 hours? When you're 24 hours away from go time, what's going through your head? You're trying to relax?
Yeah, you're trying to just focus on the job in hand and try and forget about all the sort of external factors that can distract you, like your opponent shouting and swearing at you or trying to goad you in. Especially, you know, this is the last time these two guys are going to meet and speak to each other before the referee brings them together on Saturday night. So it's all about just focusing and maintaining that discipline and not getting roped into a verbal sparring session unless that's part of your plan. But the nerves are here now. They're apprehensive, nervous. You know, there's a lot of adrenaline. He's just trying to keep it all calm, keep it all in check up until the next day. I mean, they're going to be in the ring exchanging punches in a short space of time. So it's all about just preserving the energy and staying mentally switched on.
In the lead up to your fights, did you have any rituals or superstitions or any particular routine that you'd have to go through?
No, it was all about making the weight. Towards the last couple of weeks, I'd started to try and do my weight because my weight was always very good. But I never put the right glove on before the left glove or laced my boots up a certain way. I was quite meticulous in what I did, so my boots used to have to feel very comfortable. I made sure I had all my kit and it was ready, and I knew where it all was, just because I'm quite well organised like that. But there's no rituals. Whether I put this glove on before that glove, or if I wear my spare gum shield or my actual gum shield that I use for fight night, I'm not really fussed. So to answer your question, no, but not everybody's the same. Some people really do take their rituals to the next level. Sometimes I sleep before I fight. Like when I get there, if I get there a couple of hours early, I'll try and lie down and just relax for half an hour. Sometimes I'm just buzzing too much and the adrenaline's just kicking in early, so I can't settle down. So it's always different.
Moving on to the fight itself, how do you see it playing out this time? Sometimes rematches don't live up to the billing. Do you see this to be a better fight than last time?
Provided David Haye's body physically holds up, and and it's physically capable of doing the 12-round distance, I think we're in for a great fight. I reckon it'll be tit for tat early on. They'll both be having their moments of trying to outbox each other and outclass each other, and then there'll be moments of madness where they're both exchanging big shots. Tony Bellew's going to be trying to land that left hook. David Haye's going to be trying to land anything big. So there'll be moments of madness in what I expect to be a bit of a drawn-out boxing match. But the longer it goes, I think it favours Bellew, because although Haye's talking about he's taking him late on, and his game plan is to box and move and take him into late rounds, I just think at 37, 38 years old almost,
I think he's got 12 rounds.
I don't think it's possible. No. It depends on what the pace is early on. If the pace is set high early on, I don't think he's got a solid 12 rounds. No, he's an explosive fighter.
Your former foe George Groves has got through to the final of the World Boxing Super Series, outclassing Chris Eubank Jr. Were you expecting that result?
No, I wasn't. I thought Chris Eubank Jr. would have been a little bit more effective with his high work rate and his pressure, but it transpired. I mean, I don't know how we didn't all see it. George Groves was too big for him. Chris Eubank Jr. is a middleweight, and when a middleweight tries to take on a super middleweight, that's a fine example of what happens. George Groves didn't do anything special. He nullified his opponent. It was quite a boring fight, not one you'd watch back. There was moments of excitement when Eubank was really going for it, but you could just see that he's not a super middleweight, and George Groves was able to nullify his work up close, get hold of him and sort of manhandle him, which killed it for me. It's a shame for Eubank, but he's doing all right. Yeah. And you've got to give George Groves his props, and you've got to give him credit for beating a very good opponent.
Groves faces Callum Smith in the final, who is a fully fledged super middleweight. How do you see that fight playing out?
It's difficult to predict that one, because I would have said George Groves has got the edge because of his experience at world level, and we've not seen Callum Smith really do anything at this kind of level. But George Groves now is nursing a shoulder injury, and I don't know if he's had it operated on. I don't know what's gone off with that, but his shoulder's fixed now. But is he back to what he was? We wait to see. But I would have had Groves a slight favourite, but with the injury, it's just anyone's to win.
And finally, Carl, you've been retired now for around 3 years. Does the fire still burn to get back in there?
4 years at the end of this month.
4 years.
When I rendered George Groves unconscious in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium and knocked him out. Boom. Good night. Have a little sleep. What was the question? Am I coming back?
Does the fire still burn to get back in
what?
there?
The fire wasn't burning for my last 2 fights, and
really?
That's the reason I struggled in the first one, and that's the reason in the second one I just got the job done, because there was a lot of pride at stake. My legacy was on the line, so I made sure I put myself through the mill, well, not for 12 but 14 weeks in camp, and that I knew every day that was going by I was in pain, and it was horrible, and it was sore, and I wasn't enjoying it like I usually do, but I knew every day that, you know what, this is the last time I'm going to be doing this. This is my last camp. So once I retired, mate, I was more than ready. And I've got a feeling David Haye is in a similar mindset. So we might just see the very best last of David Haye.
If he does win, if David Haye does win, do you think he enters the Anthony Joshua sweepstakes?
He's going to try and put himself in the mix, because there's some big bunts, as David Brent would say, on the line. But realistically, I don't think so. Unless he looks an absolute monster tomorrow night against Bellew and really rewinds the clock, nobody's going to give that fight any credibility. Joshua's simply too big. But get this one out of the way first tomorrow, and we'll see. But I'd like it if this was the last we see of David Haye, because his health, it should be important to him, but it's important to me.
Okay, Carl, thank you for speaking to the Sportsman.
Pleasure.
Cheers, mate.